Hello, welcome to ED 590, Conducting Research and Completing the Capstone. My name is Professor Timothy Hasser, and I am excited and honored to be your instructor for this course. As the sign says, the finish line is just ahead. This is the last course in your master's program here at CSP, and in about 8 weeks, you will be crossing the finish line. As your instructor, I am here to help you in this course. Please reach out by email if you have any questions. My email is hasser@csp.edu. And so, what are the final steps? So, as you are nearing the finish line in your master's program, consider what you've learned about being a scholar, what you've learned about being a practitioner, and what you've learned about how to bridge the gap between the two. So I would encourage you to think about all of the work that you've completed so far in your program, including the work that you've done in ED 521 and in all of your other courses throughout your program. And consider what you've gained by becoming a scholar and how you can apply what you've learned from studying in this program within your classroom or within whatever role you are currently in. Also, what will research mean for you in the future? How can you apply and use the skills that you've learned in this program to help you look at research in the future? And so when you come across a research study now, do you look at that study any differently than you would have before you started your master's program? Completing your capstone and finishing this course will be your final deep dive in your master's program. In what ways do you think you will take a deep dive in ED 590? Well, you will certainly dive much deeper into your topic and into the literature in this course as you look for additional primary original research studies related to your topic and expand upon the 5 sources that you found in your ED 521 course. Your capstone paper in this course needs to include a minimum of 15 original studies that are connected to your topic. And so if you are using the 5 studies that you found within ED 521 within your capstone paper, you will need to locate 10 additional studies for this course. Also, as part of this course, you will examine each of the studies that you locate in depth as you look for information about the participants, the methods, the key findings, the limitations of the studies, and also how each research study relates to your research question. In this course, we will continue to use our Galvin and Galvin text, writing literature reviews, a guide for students of the social and behavioral sciences. We will also use practical research methods in education, an early researcher's critical guide. And these are the same texts that were used in your ED 521 course. You can locate the online versions of these texts in D2L. And so within each of our weekly modules, if you click on materials, it will take you to the online versions of these texts. There are also APA 7th edition resources available within D2L to support you. And these resources can be found within the Support Resources tab. Please take some time this week to explore the resources that are available here to support you. Also, please locate, review, and download the capstone paper template that can also be found within the Support Resources section of our D2L course. This is the required capstone template, and it highlights what key information needs to be included within your capstone paper. And so by using this template, it will also help to set you up for success with making sure that your paper is in correct APA 7th edition format. You will also find a copy of our course syllabus within this section of D2L. Please open and review the syllabus this week, and please pay special attention to the assignment descriptions, our course calendar, and the course rubrics as you review the document. Please reach out by email if you have any questions as you review the syllabus. This section of D2L also includes our capstone guide. You may have already perused this document if you attended one of CSP's capstone symposiums. The document also contains very useful information related to structuring and setting up each section of the capstone paper, as well as some examples of what some of the completed portions of the capstone paper could look like. Please locate the capstone guide this week and review it as well. And so what support is available to assist you with developing your capstone paper? First, there are weekly peer reviews that will take place within our discussion boards in weeks 2 through 5. And so within the discussion board, you will submit a draft of one section of your capstone paper for review by one of your colleagues. And then in return, you will offer feedback of support to your assigned colleague's paper. Throughout the course, we will be focusing on a specific section of the capstone paper each week. And the calendar in our syllabus notes which section of the paper we will be working on during each week of our course. And so in weeks 2 through 5, you will submit a draft of your capstone paper to the discussion board by Thursday. And you and the partner that you are assigned to each week will provide one another with feedback of support by the end of the day on Saturday. Second, you will also receive support with developing your capstone paper by submitting a draft of your paper in weeks 2 through 5 to the assignment section in D2L. Your draft will be due by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. each week. And then I will review your paper and provide you with feedback. And so you will have an opportunity to receive feedback from one of your colleagues and an opportunity to receive feedback from me in the development of each section of your capstone paper. You also have some additional resources available to support you as well. The first of these is BrainFuse. You may have already tried out this resource when developing your literature review in ED 521 or in another course throughout your program. BrainFuse is the one-to-one graduate program tutor that is located within D2L. And you can find BrainFuse by clicking on the Support Resources tab along the top of your D2L homepage. And BrainFuse will allow you to submit your paper for feedback as many times as you would like and feel that you need to when developing your capstone paper. When submitting your paper to BrainFuse, it is very helpful to be very specific about the type of support you are looking for. For example, you might note that you're looking for support with grammar and mechanics, or with APA 7th edition in-text citations, or with writing in past tense. I would strongly encourage you to submit your writing to BrainFuse each week for feedback. And then when you do submit your paper, please identify for BrainFuse that you are using APA 7th edition and that you are using a required template from your university. Finally, you also have the option of requesting a one-to-one Zoom meeting with me if you feel that you are stuck and unable to move forward. And so please email me if you'd like to schedule a one-to-one Zoom meeting with me. Here is what our weekly schedule looks like. The instructor opening remarks videos will be posted before Monday morning of each learning week. So please view these videos before beginning your discussion boards and assignments for the week. Your initial discussion board posts are due by Thursday of each week, and responses to your colleagues are due by Saturday of each week. And then in addition to your discussion board work, please also submit your weekly draft for instructor feedback to the assignment section in D2L. And these drafts will be due in weeks 2 through 5. Here's an example of one of the peer review forms that you will be using to offer feedback of support to one of your colleagues. And so where do you find these feedback forms? They will be attached right within the discussion boards each week next to the discussion board questions. So please open and download the form, save it, and then add your comments as you are reviewing your colleague's paper. And so as a peer reviewer in weeks 2 through 5, you will review the draft of your assigned colleague, and offer your feedback of support related to each of the pieces that are found on this form. So, for example, is a statement of interest included to engage the reader? Is there a hook? Then when you are completed with the feedback form, you will upload the form right back to the discussion board so that your colleague can view your feedback. Here is an overview of all of the assignments and due dates for our ED 590 course. In weeks 2 through 5, there will be weekly drafts of your capstone paper that you'll submit for instructor review within the assignment section in D2L. These are worth 10 points each week, and they are due by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. And the purpose of completing these drafts is to help you develop a successful capstone paper and provide you with support along the way. The final capstone paper is due by Saturday of week 6 at 11:59 p.m. It is worth 420 points. And the capstone paper is pass or fail in the sense that you need to earn at least 319 points out of the possible 420 capstone paper points in order to pass our ED 590 course. The final assignment is due by Saturday of week 7, and this assignment is the program completion summary and presentation. It is worth 80 points, and we will talk more about this presentation in a future video. But if you'd like to look ahead, all of the details related to this assignment can be found within our syllabus. When beginning to develop your capstone paper, please use the required template located within the Support Resources tab for our course. This template walks you through what to include in each section, and it is also a required format, so please download the template and begin working and writing within it. Within the template, you will find dedication and acknowledgement sections. These are two optional sections that you can choose to include and address if you would like to. All of the other sections are requirements and should be kept in your capstone paper. Your first weekly draft that you will complete in week 2 will be focused on chapter 1 of your capstone paper. And as our course syllabus notes, please write this chapter in past tense. You'll begin chapter 1 with an introductory section. And so within this introductory section, please find a way to hook the reader in this section so that any reader would want to find out more about your topic and is inspired to keep reading your paper. Within chapter 1, you will also discuss the scope of the research, the importance of the research, and include your full research question. You will also describe the connection between your topic and the program essential question and include a definition of terms section with 3 to 5 terms that are key for your topic. And then finally, a summary section will wrap up chapter 1 and will help the reader transition into chapter 2. Here are the discussion board questions for this week. First, in response to the instructor opening remarks video, please respond to the following. What resources are available to support you with developing your capstone paper? Also, please post one thing that resonated with you or that you found helpful from the instructor opening remarks video. Second, please introduce yourself and share which program emphasis area you are in. Finally, please respond to the following in our discussion board number 2. Write your research question from your previous ED 521 course and discuss your interest and rationale for this topic. What is the intervention component of your research question? How will the research inform instructional or educational practices? Third, please discuss your intentional strategies for time management during this course. And then fourth, please think about the progress that you've made towards gathering the 15 required sources that you will need for your capstone paper. This week, please locate a minimum of 2 additional primary research studies related to your topic. And then please post the APA 7th edition citation for each source. And then as you're looking for those original studies, please select sources that connect to your research question and the program essential question. And please keep in mind that your capstone paper will require those 15 primary original research studies within Chapter 2, which is the literature review portion of your paper. If you have any questions as we begin our ED 590 course and take a deep dive into completing the capstone paper, please reach out by email. Please stay strong, stay focused, and stay healthy this week. We are so glad that you are here with us at CSP. I wish you blessings on your week, and I hope that you have a great week.